What's up, everybody? It's Jeffrey Lyles. You're listening to Lyles Movie Files. Chief, what's up, man?
What's going on, Jeff? What's going on, fellas? What's going on, listeners?
What's going on? What's up, Jay King? How's everything in your neck of the woods?
I'm doing good, man. I can't complain. What's up with y'all, man? Good to hear from y'all.
Jace, what's up with you?
Not much, man.
Gunner's going to be joining us at some point. Let me start with catching up on the Arrowverse before getting into today's big Arrowverse news. So, Jace made me watch Supergirl. I've been kind of chilling out on it for a minute, and I watched their episode, What's So Funny About Truth, Justice, and the American Way. Now, that is a take on a very popular Superman story, and it writer Joe Kelly introduces the Elite, and they're this brash group of quasi superheroes who are tired of the traditional way of taking care of crime and supervillains. They have more extreme ways to deal with people. And the story was done in such a way where it's like, look, Superman may have old school traditional values, but that doesn't make him a loser. And the Elite are kind of uses this metaphor of modern fans who thought Superman was lame because he wasn't as cool as Batman, and it showed why Superman was such a cool hero. One thing that Supergirl's done frequently is take titles, themes from Superman without really applying it in the best way. So that was the case with this one. Basically, it's, okay, let's do our take on the Elite. And for the most part, that was done pretty decently-ish. The Elite has a fourth member who, I don't know if that alien was supposed to be the fourth man or whatever, but on the actual team, there's a black guy, which I guess we don't need to have two black guys because why would we do that? And he's a big guy, and he's like Iceman, basically, has powers. Cold Snap is his name, if I remember correctly, and basically just freezes things. So that's a unique power, certainly something that would be kind of cool to see on Supergirl, especially since they're not spending a lot of money on the Elite's costumes. And it was sort of okay, but there's still so many problems I have with Supergirl. And before I get into mine, I want to hear from you all. So, Jace, what was your take on this episode?
Manchester Black is a regular dude. So he's just regular dude. We have no backstory on why he's this super fighter dude. Gosh, what's the girl with the dragon?
Menagerie.
Yeah. I don't dislike her. I mean, she looks a little too normal versus what was portrayed in the comic. That's ticky tack. I mean, hey, let's save our budget while we can. Hat I liked. I thought he was actually most well done one, and it was just like they did just it was like they kind of used the concept, but they didn't use it. It was like the Elite was basically showing like, hey, we're better. I mean, like in the cartoon / comic, it was like, we're showing you, hey, we're better than Superman. You don't need to trust this old guy. We're actually going to take out these villains instead of putting them in jail. If they've killed people, we're just going to kill them and be done with, save you taxpayers some money. But in this one, it was just like, why are all of the, like, I don't know why Hat's involved in this. I don't understand. Menagerie, it's like, yeah, she'd have a beef, but I mean, there was no real revelation of why these guys are friends other than they broke her out of jail. And I'm just like, okay, yeah, and the alien, the random alien dude, like how he came into the mix, I don't understand any of that. They didn't do anything that made him bad or worse than Superman, other than they killed some guys who were killing aliens. All right, but again, going back to what we said the previous week, it's like, if you have all of this going on and you're a regular human, what the hell? What are you supposed to do? Are you really supposed to say, hey, I trust Supergirl who blasted a satellite out of the air that was going to stop any more invasions, which we've already been invaded twice? Oh, wait, you might be trying to let the Kryptonians come and invade us this time, because we know now that there's a whole planet of you guys where Superman just decided to peace out and hang out with them. So he might be getting brainwashed and just like, hey, he's starting the invasion. I'm like, hey, can we get Lex Luthor out of jail, bail him out, and actually make a kryptonite shield or something to get rid of all these aliens? it's not helping the hero of this show. It's just like she's supposed to show why this is a bad thing, and it's like everybody who doesn't have power makes perfect sense. Like, I'm not comfortable here, y'all. This sucks.
Chief, what's your take on this?
First of all, you were wrong. You said they don't spend hardly any money on the costumes. They don't spend any money on the costumes. I was looking at Manchester's black hair. I thought they CGI'd it. I don't know what's up with that purple dude that they gave him.
Well, that's what he has in the comic book. It's like he's got purple hair.
You see how horrible it looked? I mean, it just looks.
It's hard to dye black hair into light fuchsia.
So then we go to the uselessness of Martian Manhunter.
Yeah.
This dude is just. I don't even know why they have him on the show. He can't fight anymore. He should transform into an L, because that's all he does. He takes away your L. So this is, you know what I mean? This is him now. Then, so Manchester doesn't have any superpowers. The one dude, whatever's in that hat, is amazing, and the menagerie. So when all of them get together, they always take a loss to these champs. Now, I don't know if you remember when they pissed off Superman and he started whisking them away he started on the moon, whisking them away. And then my man transported them from the moon back to Earth. And he was like, yeah, he was like, where's so-and-so? And he was like, yeah, I whisked them away at supersonic speeds. If you listen closely, you can hear the pop. And anyway, so they can be defeated by just, I mean, this is with a Manchester Black who had powers. This Manchester Black doesn't even have powers, and they're taking losses to him. I mean, he's coming up electrocuting people with remember when we were little, they used to sell the little hand buzzer you put on your hand and shake somebody's hand. It was supposed to give them a shock, but it was really just, this is what he's taking people out with. And I'm just like, all right, man. So he's got Martian Manhunter. They pretty much get away from Supergirl again. This is like 3 times this episode they escaped her. Then we go to the DOA, whatever the hell this place is called, and what's her name?
DEO.
Yes, DEO. Yes. And so, old girl. She's talking to Lex Luthor. She's a scientist too now? Like, she was like, yeah, this used to be the Supergirl's stepsister. She's like,
Alex. She used to do the science stuff there. I mean, literally the DEO only needed to have Alex and Wynn and John because they were the only people doing anything.
How many scientists / weapon specialists do you think there are out there? Like,
hey, man.
And if she could go in there and immediately know what Lena Luthor is doing, then why the hell did she do this? Like, you know what I mean? Like she's that smart where the stuff that Lena Luthor was doing wasn't even over her head. She walked in, she was like, yeah, the KO peptides are, and I'm like, what? Like, come on, dude. Like,
she's super. I mean, come on. She just looks at a little bit of the genome and knows everything in 2 seconds.
She knew how to take Manchester Black down too.
Exactly my point. Yeah, Manchester Black. I'm still saying he got hit with that 20-ton.
Why are you remembering that? That was weeks ago. Okay.
I know, man. I know.
We got new Manchester with a Legion ring. He's gonna be super.
And then you how do you know where to pick up your costume in jail? So they lock you up, somebody busts you out, and you know exactly what room your costume is in at that point. Like, you just go, hey, hold on, fellas, I've got no superpowers, but I know exactly where my costume is. Like, listen.
Maybe Hat got it for him.
No,
How would Hat know?
he told Hat, hold on, because he had to get something. So Hat did not know where it was.
Jeff, why do you have to remember things, man? Come on.
Somebody needs to with these shows.
So, I think, when I watch Supergirl now, I don't watch it for, I don't want to say authenticity. I don't, because there's no realism in anything they do now on Supergirl. I think they're throwing a program together, throwing it out there to us, having us watch it, and they're like, well, this is the program. We don't care what you think. And that's it. So here we are now. We're watching Supergirl, and they're just kind of throwing whatever they want at us, and it is what it is. So I'm not saying that these episodes are terrible. I mean, I like the fact that my man beat the other dude with the mask at the end. I thought that was one of the most exceptional things about the episode. I was like, okay, that's an actual thing I can see happening this episode. Somebody coming in questioning your leadership off a brand you built, and you destroying him off of it. But the rest of this thing was just, it was whatever. Like, I don't know, if I was a dude who played John, the actor, I'd be like, I'm not coming no more. Like, yo, don't call me for no more episodes. And you know what I mean? Like, he needs to go somewhere else. He needs to go somewhere else, man, where he can actually, I mean, he doesn't phase. I mean, they just, like, nothing. And so, yeah, so Supergirl, man, it definitely is a thing that tests your patience. But it is what it is. I mean, you know, last season it was rain, and then the other ones like her, and it took a season, and now it's just right. And now it's just no non-powered Manchester Black and really two other Bammers, and we're taking a season for this thing here now to you know, turn into something. So yeah, this is what it is. So yeah.
And Chief, I think you made a really good point, because Manchester Black should be one of Supergirl's most formidable foes. He has no power, so he's just kind of going by off of charisma. But that only can do so much. He should be able to be a real threat to Supergirl. And since he's not, his whole character is wasted. He's Manchester Black in name. They gave him the shirt, they gave him the jacket, but it's still not Manchester Black. Like, he's the dude who went toe to toe with Superman and has been a nuisance even without the rest of the elite. Having him with no powers dilutes his entire purpose and what he's supposed to do in terms of fighting Supergirl. And I think some of it is because they don't want Manchester Black beating Supergirl. Just my thought.
Okay, now, do you guys think this After Break has been better than Supergirl last season After Break?
Yes, because it hadn't gone off the rails yet. They've been kind of consistent with, well, Manchester Black's only but so good. And with Rain, after she beat the piss out of Supergirl, then they just started going crazy. Like, let's do this to wreck Rain and let Supergirl go toe to toe so she can win. And let's throw in these witches. Let's do all this other dumb stuff. When Rain by herself was enough to take care of Supergirl, and that's what it ultimately came down to anyway.
Yeah, it's like, and a super powered Rain who should have easily beat regular powered Kara. Yeah, I'm. My thing is, like, if you put Manchester Black, his actual powers, it's like, for the folks that saw Superman versus the Elite, we saw that Superman could beat these guys. So it's like, with all of the rest of his Supergirl's super friends, it's like they can beat him. I mean, like, but why do you have the depowered Manchester Black? It just doesn't make sense to me. It's just like, other than, like, in your reason, it might be the right way, because it's like, because he would win, because Supergirl is all fist and no brains for some reason in this show, and she'd have no chance against him.
And but also, I mean, they have to make it so Alex can beat Manchester Black too.
Well, you know, that's what it's going to come down to the end. like somehow Ben Lockwood will get some powers, but Alex will beat Manchester Black and throw him in jail. So
It's like if they were so desperate to put Alex right in the forefront all the time, why don't they just do like they do with every other sidekick character and give her powers? I mean, Alex is the one that should have some super suit that lets her do things that nobody else should do. I mean, make her a low-level Iron Man on this show because they're so intent on keeping her at the forefront of the action. But it's not believable that it doesn't matter who she's fighting, she's going toe-to-toe with them. I mean, it's just like, come on. I mean, she fought Rain last.
Didn't she jump like in the fight this one? Didn't she jump down like 3 flights of stairs and didn't break her ankle?
Dude, Alex is just amazing. But I at least like Alex because they don't make everything about her, so she's not annoying like that. But they really do kind of go overboard with making it so Alex doesn't even need the DEO, which I think is goofy because they're just lame. So yeah, that was Supergirl. Javon, I know you're not tapped in with the Arrowverse, but my man, I know you've got Netflix, and I know you have access to this show. So my homework assignment for you, if you are willing to accept this mission, it may not just be on this week's or next week's show, but I want you to start diving all the way into Gotham. They're wrapping up their final season right now. I think they got maybe 4 episodes left. The first 4 seasons are on Netflix right now. And that show, it starts off slow. It's like one of the few comic book shows that started kind of and kept getting better every season. And normally they start off really strong and then they start petering out as they go. Maybe they have a decent episode or season in the middle of the run, but it's just like, please just take it out back and put it out as misery. Gotham's been the opposite, and it has been a lot of fun. I'm actually mad that this is the final season because of all the stuff they've done this one.
Well, let me ask you this, Jeff. Now that it has life on Netflix and Netflix is losing all of its Marvel properties, you get what I'm going with.
I do, but I think that Netflix is going to be really leery of getting into bed with any established company that has their own thing because DC has their DC Universe app. And if there's such a huge major demand for it, Gotham doesn't necessarily have to be so expensive that they couldn't do something else with it on their network.
Well, I was going to ask that question. Does DC Universe alone, they're backed by Warner Brothers, right?
Yep.
When it comes to the production. Okay, so that's a decent degree there. So yeah, we can't expect to see anything there. But there's another question in that. Do you think that Gotham has another life on the DC streaming service?
No, that's what I'm saying. The DC Universe. That's the name of it.
Yeah.
It's not a very original name, but yes, right. That's their streaming service. And I think DC Universe is starting to get some buzz because people like Doom Patrol. I think more people than not who actually gave it a shot like Titans, and everyone who watched it loved Young Justice. So I think it's on the upswing. I think adding something that's already been established could be the next step to get more people to subscribe. So maybe. But yeah, man, check Gotham out. Like I said, the first season's kind of dodgy. The second season takes a second to get going. But once it does, it doesn't stop being fun at that point. And season 4 was a lot of fun, and season 5 has just been great. Like, really, really great. Like, one of my favorite superhero comic TV seasons so far. And they don't have enough episodes to mess it up, so I'm feeling it. Let's see. So we also have back to the Arrowverse, the show that got it all going, Arrow. And I watched Monday's episode, and as I was writing my review, I said, I don't know how much longer I can do this show. And I think the biggest problem with Arrow has been the writer's fascination with revolving the show around Felicity. And there's so many ways that plays out. But in this episode, it was annoying. So last episode, we found out that she's pregnant. And instead of telling Oliver, because Felicity is always 100% about when you're in a committed relationship, you tell that person everything. So she decides not to tell him right away. She tells Laurel, or Laurel figures it out because she's eating chocolate. And she's like, well, don't tell Oliver. And it's like, what are you doing? I mean, this is the same stuff that you would get up out of a wheelchair to walk away and just storm because Oliver didn't tell you something that you thought he needed to tell you right away. And it's just like, come on, man. How are the writers writing Felicity in such a hypocritical way? Oh, wait, there's more examples. So earlier in the episode, or I don't know, it's hard to keep track of Felicity's inconsistencies. So Diggle had taken their big bad from last season, Diaz, put him into this not Suicide Squad Ghost Initiative program. And with that, he put a bomb in his head to make him do this mission to find this season's big bad, Dante. So instead of being secretive, which caused some cracks in Team Arrow last season, he goes and tells Oliver and Felicity, look, Diaz is back in action. He's not at home. He's under our custody, and he's pulling out this mission. And Felicity goes, I can't believe you would prioritize your mission, your job, over your friends. And I'm thinking she's super high and mighty as usual, and condescending, and almost always exclusively to the minority characters, because that's all Team Arrow is. So the thing is, like, but Felicity does that all the time. Like when the mission last season was, hey, we need to find a silencer so we can track Diaz. She decided to kidnap a silencer, go rogue, and do her own thing. And there was no talk about, hey, you need to be concerned about the priority of the mission over the safety of your friends then. It was all about, I need Oliver, so I don't care about the plan that everybody else is working on. And Diaz had already proven to be super dangerous. And if Diaz is shook on this guy Dante, maybe you need to worry about him. So they have a chance where they can get Dante, and they don't. And Diaz gets away. And so Diggle decides, I'm going to throw myself on the sword. I'm going to resign because I don't want my wife to have to do it because our mission failed. And if you've been keeping track this season, that's the second time a black person's lost their job because of Felicity. And Felicity could care less. She's looking almost like, yeah, you better have done that because that's how you do it with me. And it's just Felicity's attitude feels so unearned. And it's just so annoying to me at this point because she's been doing this since she popped off to Ra's al Ghul, who would have killed her in the comics. It's just, so that's the whole point with her character. It's just like, this is ridiculous. And it's just been season after season of Felicity talking down to people and acting bulletproof, invulnerable, and being able to get away with storyline murder. And yeah, so I was not happy about that. Jace, do you have anything before I get to my next point?
Oh, let's start here. Okay, let's go with the first point. No one cares about Felicity or her kids. Like, no one cares about William, and no one cares about Nia Smoke, who just magically happened to come up and is basically come with the same sense of entitlement that Felicity is just worn like a badge of honor for the last 2 seasons. I mean, since Prometheus. Skip Prometheus season, and then every other season since Ra's al Ghul. I'm still trying. I mean, it's like she comes off as the most tone-deaf character. It's like she's supposed to be super awesome, but needs to be propped up for every decision that she makes. And it's like, as much as a quote-unquote, she's supposedly a genius, but yet she is, as of this episode, she's been given 3 companies by 3 men, and she's done nothing with them. It's like she didn't make a company. It's like these billionaires are giving her the company, and one guy who should be a billionaire since he can cure paralysis with 5 minutes of thought, and she's magically just like, yeah, I'm screwing that up. Like, it's not that big a deal. It's like they just write her horrible. I mean, it's just like, I don't know who pissed the female writer staff off, but they're getting their jollies on killing this show. And I'm never one like that says, oh, it's the guy, it's them coming off with the female lead that's killing the show. It's like any just objective person is just like, it's just that character. It's like, because it's not Lila that's bad. Lila's like a wife. Hey, I'm trying to do what I think is right, But Felicity is just ridiculously horrible. It's like, I mean, I can't excuse my friend for concerning his job, trying to keep friends safe. But, now that Black Siren looks like Laurel, I'm okay with her killing, Dinah's, love because, she looks like Laurel and she's gonna do. I'm sorry, yeah, she's gonna kill Vince, but I'm okay with that because she's going with my mission because my mission beats all other concerns about anybody else's love or family or whatever you want to go with.
And you would think that she would have major beef with Laurel because she was the one that got DS free last season anyway.
Again, that was last season. I mean, it's like almost like this season. It's like this show has. I admit this. I don't watch Legends. I watch Flash, and I'm gonna try and get back into Black Lightning. But this show seems the worst for wear when they got rid of the old writing, the old production team, based on bad action stuff that they should have. But it seems like they didn't vet who these writers are and what kind of scripts they could come up with. Like they almost should have been like these people. They should have been basically like, hey, you're pitching me a pilot. Like, what is the point of the season? Not that you're coming in and taking over somebody else. It's like, what is the point of this season? And now it's just like, oh, well, we came up with Diaz, and then we're going to use Diaz again, and then we're going to have Highlander coming and knock him off, episode 14. And you've heard nothing about the dude, you've never seen him before, but that's all good. I mean, yeah, I'm glad Adrian Paul's getting some more work, but unlike Supernatural, where they build a bad guy this season before, you see him a little bit, you don't think he's a threat. This one, they just drop him in episode 14 to take out the guy who we never figured out why he was that important in the first place. And then I think you're probably, I don't know if I'm going to step on your toes a little bit, Jeff, but then you find out, oh, hey, Amiko's working with the dude. It's like, we saw that before, and it actually was done far better. Or like when Prometheus and, what was the girl's name, Jeff?
Evelyn.
Like, that was like, oh, shoot. Like, that was just dirty. This is just like, well, she's been beefing with the queens all year. I mean, well, this actually makes more sense. Like, yeah, okay.
It doesn't make sense? Her standing in front of Robert Queen's gravesite, talking to him like she's catching up and shooting the breeze.
Well, I mean, now if you look at it, it's like she's got the beef with the dude. It's like, now I can sit on you like, haha, eventually your son's gonna figure out who I am. So I'm gonna get him trapped up in the web. And it now makes a little more sense that she's, this super arrow person that she's been training with Dante. Yeah, Dante, since he's, magic with a knife. So that makes a little more sense.
That's true. It's a good thing they've never done the sister turned evil storyline in Arrow.
We've done the half sister. We've done the female
lead sister. Half sister. I mean, they've done this before. Thea was evil for a while. Sarah evil for a while. Laurel evil for a while. And we've got her all. She's good now.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, we're supposed to be like, hey, wow, she's really turned the corner because she's not willing to drop a bomb into Diaz because Felicity magically can hack the unhackable brain bomb and can do that remotely.
And also, my favorite part of that plan was the Felicity wanted Laurel to do it.
Oh yeah,
that was awesome. It wasn't I'm going to do it. It was, hey, you get close to him and I'll press the button. Really?
I mean, you've already killed people before. Why don't you just add an extra body to it? Well, shit, if that was the case, why don't you just tell Oliver to keep killing people from season 1?
Wait a second. Stop remembering stuff.
I know. I'm sorry.
Okay. All right. So with all that said, I'm not bothering with the future stuff because who cares, right? Anyway, so the big news today, there have been rumbling, rumors, and all kinds of good stuff, but now it's official. Arrow is ending after next season. And it's not a full season. We're only getting 10 episodes next season. And that should, if our math is correct, line right up with the Crisis on Infinite Earths crossover. And what that probably most likely means, Oliver is going to pay that debt card he earned from saving or having Monitor spare Flash and Supergirl. That was a big twist on the comic book Crisis, where both Flash and Supergirl died. So it looks like this is how it's going to all come together. Now, I've been reading, and apparently Stephen Amell, who plays Arrow, his contract was up at the end of this season, but the writers were like, hey, could we do something else? And he was like, look, we've done a great job with this. I think we've established everything really well. He said this in a Facebook Live video, so you can check this out. But he was like, yeah, I think we've set everything up pretty well, that the show can go without me. And the CW and the Warner Brother execs had a meeting with the Arrowverse staff and Stephen Amell, and they just decided, why don't we just end the show? And because it's not Arrow without you. And we'll go 10 episodes next season, and that'll be the nice bow for Arrow. This is not going to be one of those cases where I'm like, oh man, remember how good Arrow was? I'm not like that at all. I think this is a good mercy killing, and tying it with Crisis on Infinite Earth is great. Arrow has been floundering ever since the season 6 reveal of who survived the Prometheus attack. There have been good episodes since then, but it's never really found its way after that point where they should have killed characters like Curtis off because they didn't matter in the long run. And you know, it's kind of telling when people like Paul Blackthorne, who played Quentin for pretty much every season except for last one, or this one after he got killed off, Echo Kellum, who's Curtis, Willa Holland, all were like, yeah, we're good. It's time to roll out. And I think it's really interesting that Echo Kellum left now, because was it just 2 episodes ago that he was written out? And clearly they probably were like, hey, we've only got 15 more episodes. And he was like, nah, I'm good. I'm sure he'll show up for the Crisis crossover. But I just thought it was really interesting that he didn't want to stick around since the end was near for this series. So, but yeah, I think Arrow's been creatively dry for many seasons now. And yeah, I'm not too sad about it going. And I think that will help clear the deck and not make some of these repetitive storylines we see carry over from show to show. They won't be occurring as often. Jace, what do you think?
And when you told me the news that Arrow was going, I was like, thank you. I mean, if you take out Prometheus season, this show has been on life support for far too long beside the crossovers. And it's just like, it just was creatively dead. So it was like, if I can come up with a tight 10 episode season, wrap it up in the Crisis, that's fine. After watching Mondays, I was ready. I'm just like, you know what? I have jumped off Heroes, How I Met Your Mother, even when I knew there was story left. I was just like, you know what? I don't know if I was going to be even going to finish the rest of the season. But at this point, when they said, "Oh, we're wrapping it up," it's like, okay, I guess I'm gonna stick around. But I am just like, hey, thank you. You know, and depending on how this season is, I might just watch the crossover and just call it on this show, because it's like they're gonna focus a whole lot on the future next season. I'm good. I don't need to see that. Just call me when Crisis is here. I'll be back. It's like, for your one episode, the Arrow finale, which I'm sure is probably going to be the end of the Crisis. So, like,
right.
Goodbye.
All right. So, moving away from the Arrowverse, Captain Marvel comes out this Thursday, wide on Friday, so everybody can see it during the day. But this is a big movie for Marvel Studios because it's the first film featuring a woman as the headliner and main character. There have been some online people who have not been too happy about this because apparently the 20 films beforehand weren't enough. So we need to keep dominating, and no women can play in our Marvel Studios sandbox. I saw the movie earlier this week. My review's up on loudmoviephiles.com. You can read it. I don't want to talk much longer about that movie. I liked it a lot. Chief, you saw an early screening on Tuesday. What was your take on Captain Marvel? In a non-spoiler way.
It was a really good movie. I thought it was right up there with, right along the lines with the last Thor movie, Wonder Woman. I mean, it was just real good. It was action-packed from beginning to end. Weren't any lulls in it. It had comedy. And I couldn't, I really actually couldn't find any flaws in it. You know what I mean? As far as, what I went in there expecting and what I got. So, and I love when those two match up. When I'm like, okay, I'm hoping that's going to be a good movie, and it just turns out to be a good movie. I mean, how many times does that happen? So, excellent movie. Go see it. If you haven't seen it, by the time this episode comes out, if you haven't seen it, go see it. You'll like it. You should like it, anyways. I give it a definitely 3 kookaroos up. It's you kookaroo, man.
That's a strong endorsement.
Yeah.
Yes, I thought it was really fun and definitely had me psyched up and ready for Avengers Endgame. I'll probably end up watching Captain Marvel a few more times. I think your assessment was dead on. It is very much in the same vein of Thor Ragnarok, where it's a lot of action, but it's funny. And I don't know if that's the new formula for Marvel going forward, but if so, I'm down with it because I don't need to go to the movies and be depressed. Infinity War aside, because that was a different experience, but it's kind of fun having fun watching comic book movies, and good for Marvel Studios for doing that. And I think it's going to make a lot of money at the box office, so yeah, it's definitely worth checking out. Jay King.
I'm here.
Okay. So, I got some good news for you.
Okay.
Your boy Tyrese Gibson is officially back at work in Hollywood. He's not sitting around waiting on The Rock to return any calls or emails now. He's got some gigs lined up on the big screen.
That's all I want to hear. That is all I want to hear.
He will be starring in the lead role in the Teddy Pendegrass biopic. What's your take on that first?
Is this going to be on BET Lifetime or BET Her?
I think it is going to the big screen, but don't quote me on that one.
Okay. Because when I saw that, I was expecting that to be on like BET, one of the BET movies, like the New Edition story or something like that.
I feel like he might be out of that range of star for them, because I think that's more like a Flex or AJ kind of thing, where it's like I remember you from right. I remember you from something kind of guys, not right. These who are in like blockbuster $1 billion movies. Right. So I think just because of Tyrese, not necessarily because he's in that top tier.
But he's not standalone though. Like if the Tyrese action vehicle, what was that? The one where they kidnapped the son or something, and the game was the bad guy.
Oh man, I don't know if I watched that one.
Yeah,
Javon, you watch some bad movies. Like that's just, wow.
How long have you known me?
Megan Good was in that movie. Take it easy.
Megan Good.
Okay, never mind.
Hey,
all right,
I take it all back.
Jason, I've seen some stinkers, man. I've given away a lot of money to Hollywood and the music industry.
Wait, I think I found it. Waist deep
in dog shit, because that movie was terrible. Terrible. But I mean, I'm looking at it rationally. Teddy Pendegrass, as much as people know Teddy Pendegrass as a feature-length film, he's not one of these iconic performers or singers, right? In our community, yes.
Right.
But a lot of folks don't know who Teddy Pendergrass is. I'm not just talking about millennials. I'm talking about people across the board. They may know the songs. They may know a couple of songs. But he's like Bill Withers to me in a sense, where everybody knows "Lovely Day," but very few people know who sing that song.
You know, Javon, I think what's happened after the success of Bohemian Rhapsody, everybody's music biopic is getting dusted off, and
wait till Elton John's comes out.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, it's one of those deals where it's like, hey, let's try it.
But you know what, Jeff? It's interesting because I wonder, are they going to focus on the thing about Teddy Pendergrass's life that changed his life forever and was a pretty, dark and dicey chapter in his life? Will they focus on that? I want to see more so than Teddy Pendergrass. I mean, good for Tyrese and the state of Teddy Pendergrass, because he's one of my favorite singers of all time. But I mean, there's a lot of the story we may not know that may be an interesting story. But as far as I think with Teddy, I don't know what kind of life he really lived outside of the music, because for one, I was too young, or not even born when he was, in his heyday. But I think that, for straight up scandal and making a good viewing experience in the theater, Rick James.
I wonder if
that's a hell of a story to tell.
I wonder if his estate hasn't signed off on it yet.
Probably. I can't imagine they'd be so willing to say we're protecting the legacy of Rick James, because I mean he's been an open book, and his struggles were out there. But moreover, Rick James has a hell of a story to tell if you look at his life.
Who would be Rick James in your movie? I'm putting you right on the spot.
Who could be Rick James?
All right, you think about it.
It's like who could play Richard Pryor? You know what I mean? You
Will
need
Smith.
A tortured individual. God, yeah, we'll get into
Kevin Hart.
But yeah. I mean, Mike Epps. I think Mike Epps.
You know what? He could actually. I think he has, right?
I think he'd be the. No, he's cast as it, but they haven't filmed the movie yet. They better do it fast, because Mike Epps is starting to be. He's on the other side of 45, man. You got to tell that story and tell it now.
Yeah, it's starting to look like Harlem Nights Richard Pryor. Right. Chief, what do you think about this? Teddy Pendergrass, you interested in seeing this movie?
I am not. You know what, man? I've never been interested in, like, I've liked only, really, I've only liked the Biggie movie, Notorious, as far as, as far as the movies. I mean, they did the Straight Outta Compton, but that wasn't really a story of their life. It was more of a story of how the group got together, so on and so forth. But usually, man, I hate a biopic. You know what I mean? They don't do it for me. Everybody's like, oh, this Bohemian Rhapsody, this, that, and the third. But, like, if you've seen them all, if you've seen one, you've usually seen most of them. They come up, humble beginnings, there's going to be drugs, there's going to be women, then
personal struggle.
Right, some personal struggle. But hell, if you point the camera on any one of our lives, you know what I mean, to a certain degree, you know what I mean? Like, I don't need to go to a movie theater to see somebody's personal struggles. I can go right inside and close my front door and look in the mirror and be like, man, shit. Like, you know what I mean?
What song of yours is playing in the background, Chief?
What song of mine is playing?
Yeah, that's the difference.
Man, it's probably something from Tracy Chapman or something. You know what I mean? Fast car. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? It's just, I just never dug the too many, those biopics, man. I mean, what are we talking about here? Like I said, and just like, just as I was saying that, y'all was calling it out. What happens? The same thing that happens in every biopic. They come, they get, they get found, they use, they get clean again, or they don't, or, and it's the same old, same old. It's every damn musician's thing every day. Hell, every president, whatever. You know what I mean? Every billionaire. It's just the same thing. It's the same thing. It's nothing you can do about it. It's it is what it is. So
Yes,
while
sir.
we out here, paying money to see it, like, I would even, prefer just put out a greatest hits album on iTunes. Let me listen to the music again. You know what I mean? Bring back the music again. But for me to just go out and listen to your story, it's not much different from my story except you picked up a guitar or you could sing. You know what I mean? It is what it is. So that's how I feel about these singer buyouts and these comedian buyouts. It's always the same story. We all live the same lives. It's just how much money is in our pocket at the end of the day. So, yep, that's my take.
All right. That's a good one. All right. Everybody's favorite. I'm so glad you came in right when you did, Gunner, because I'm about to get into two music topics. We were talking about the Teddy Pendegrass biopic that Tyrese is starring in. So before I move on to the other stuff, what's your take on that?
Dude, I've been waiting for that for a minute. The joint that's supposed to be on Showtime?
I guess it's a Showtime movie, Javon.
Is it Showtime? I don't remember. I know there's a Teddy Pendergrass thing coming. I thought it was a Showtime.
No, Gunner, that's the documentary. That's already out. I recorded that last week.
So this is like the long unsung.
Right. This is the BET Teddy Pendergrass story.
Got it. Okay. Got it. Okay. So what's this one? Like, this is like a biopic? On what
Yeah.
channel?
With Tyrese, man. He's going to have a hairpiece and everything.
What channel?
It's just Ray. It's the same thing as Ray, but he can see.
But it's like it's going in theaters, or is it going to be a Lifetime? Because
I mean, I don't think Tyrese is that small to be on direct-to-video cable. I think it has to go to movies.
Tyrese, man.
His asking price would be skewed because of the Fast and the Furious films. Now, regardless if you look at him as the star, he's going to say, "Look at the box office of the last few films that I worked on." It's like, all right, whatever.
But see, Jeff, I look at it this way.
I know how to leverage. I know how to leverage certain things that I can do for business, but that doesn't make it right and true. Right. Except for all my clients. Hi. But I'm like, I know how much the movie made, but that Bama has like small roles, and that's all he's done, man. That Bama hasn't had an album out. He better do this biopic. At least when Jamie Foxx did Ray, like, he had an album. You know what I mean? He had like a fresh album out.
I think Tyrese just had an album.
When? Where?
He had an album a couple years, like a year ago.
Actually, he was beefing with The Rock at the time, and The Rock called it black dog shit. So yeah.
So it's just like
I just don't think it's gonna be a huge crush of folks. Like, I got to see that Teddy Pendegrass movie star Black.
That Bama don't even look like Teddy, man. He better grow a beard. I don't know, man.
He's gonna grow the beard, and he's gonna have the hairpiece, that little Afro Jerry curl thing. He'll make it work.
You can't put every black dude in a wheelchair and just be like, "Yo, you're gonna be Teddy Pendegrass."
Yo, Tyrese is quite dramatic. Did you see his Instagrams about The Rock?
I don't know. I don't know, man.
He was quite emotional.
All I know is it's not going to be a Ray. I know that because Jamie Foxx can actually act. So
he won't be going up in the Oscars saying shout out to everybody. What's up, Dwayne? No, he won't be doing that. All right. So now that you're on, because I've been kind of waiting. So this week was for people who like music. It was a bad week. R. Kelly had an interview, and it did not go well. He's become a meme, surprisingly. And it didn't go well.
Does thinks he protests too much.
Oh, gosh. I mean, I don't feel like anybody ever goes, yeah, they got me. And they really got me. I did all this stuff. I feel like I've never actually heard that. But I feel like in his case, he has, man, I'm waiting for the CGI of his nose to enlarge as he protests. Because it's kind of crazy. Yeah. So he is all like, yeah, That was not me. That's impossible. And he got arrested again today for failure to pay child support.
He's trying to get that Bama on everything known to
Dude,
man.
it's
He's
a
in
rap.
OJ land. He's in OJ land right now.
Yeah, he is. It's a rap.
Arrested for child support of the kids he was crying that he was trying to get to know better.
Right. Right.
It's a rap. Like, I'm worried. Like, I'm a little worried for the dude, man.
I ain't worried about that, Bama.
Like, he at that stage where he might hurt himself.
Listen, I ain't worried about that dude. I saw a picture of him pissing in a little girl's mouth. I ain't worried about him. I was worried about Michael Jackson. I was not worried about him because I actually saw.
All right, let's fast forward then. Let's fast forward.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this Michael Jackson documentary that surprised so many people when they watched it this week on HBO. The same Facebook friend who was shocked and aghast at the R. Kelly allegations was like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe all this stuff that I'm seeing about Michael Jackson." And I kind of feel like, what were you not paying attention to?
Wait a minute. Is this person like 12 years old?
No, man. This person went to high school with me.
Oh, they lying. Like, stop it.
Michael Jackson turned himself into a
we didn't wreck it.
Why can't you believe anything that? Look at him. Look at what he did to himself. You mean to tell me that there's something that could come out that make you say, "Oh no, not Michael Jackson"?
Right.
Now, so the real thing is there have been, I don't know what the deal is, because I feel like most people were like, you know what? If I never have to listen to an R. Kelly thing again, I'm good. So like on some Facebook groups, they'll go, like there's a wrestling one that I'm on to, shout out to the group. They'll put up a picture of 4 wrestlers and they'll go, all right, you've got to eliminate one in all of their matches, everything from their career. And some people will go like this guy, that guy, whatever. And it's like this huge thing, right? And I feel like most people, if they had this board and R. Kelly was on the board and there was like Prince, Michael Jackson, give me a good third one. Luther, let's see, somebody like that.
Tyrese. Hey, you said his album was good.
You know what? I did not say that. I did not say that. Those were not my words. So we put up, let's just say Luther and R. Kelly. I think a lot of people would be like, R. Kelly, gotta go. He's good. We could remove his music from our playlist.
Because you know why? You put up 3 superstars up there, man. Like
I did. I mean, I was doing it on purpose. But I feel like if you go, okay, all right, here you go. So here's my next example. Would you? So it's like, all right,
like Aaron Hall, like throw Aaron Hall.
All right, here is Leaving Neverland, and after you watch that, you've got to go. Okay, you got to get rid of one artist, and you've got Aaron Hall, Ralph Tresvant, Bobby Brown, and Michael Jackson. How many people would still not pick Michael Jackson?
Everybody that ever listened to an Aaron Hall album.
Don't be afraid, Gunner.
I'm being clear. Everybody that listens to an Aaron Hall album. Because you know why?
His love is Aaron, y'all.
I'm not sheeping. I'm not a sheeple. And first of all, we knew about this stuff with Mike when we were in high school. You know what I mean? Well, Jeff, you were in college. And we were like, look, yeah, we'll see. I don't know about this one. Then the second joint came out. We're like, all right, well, that's a little too much. Then these two, I'm like, eh. But here's the thing. Here's my thing about this stuff, man. And
Hold up, I want to hear Gunner's thing on this.
Y'all know I'm the biggest Mike fan of probably like the whole crew, extended crew, whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I ain't gonna mute his music, right? Like, you know what I mean? I'm like, that's just dumb. Like, I'm not gonna do that. That's silly. And there's too many people to come out like, yo, like, you know, there was some shaky stuff about the timeline of the second one, right? Of the whole trial. So to the point where, you know, somebody killed themselves or something like that, right? So it was all shaky. The parents made them do it, whatever. Okay, fine, I get that. But this other motherfuckers are coming out, other people that are coming out, and I'm like, you know me, man. My rule is I got a rule of 3. Like, if 3 Bamas are coming out saying, "Yo, that happened to me," I don't know. There's not that many people in this world that's gonna.
Well, Corey Feldman, Macaulay Culkin were like, no, he did not do anything to us.
But both of them Bamas are crazy Bamas anyway. I'm sorry, y'all ain't credible. as much as I'm a fan, I would love to be like, yeah, that's right. See, they didn't think so. Nah, them Bamas. Macaulay Culkin's weird. Corey Feldman. I mean, come on, man. No, I ain't even gonna go there. Come on. So I think me and Lonnie were talking about this, man. I was like, look, something went down, and these two that made this documentary are the wrong people to make this documentary because their whole situation is shaky. I'm like, first of all, you in court, so you're saying you perjured yourself and you spent spent a good amount of money, not millions, but good amount of money making this thing to say I basically perjured myself. Two, they tried to do this on court, and the judge was like, nah, this is you got no evidence. Like, peace, get out of here. Now, not that every abuser has evidence, but come on, man, like that's strike two right there. So I don't know, man. There's some holes in this. But, this is like not as many as like, Juicy Smollett's holes, but there's some holes in it. Like Juicy Smollett got Mack trucks. This is like a Civic hole, right? So, you know what I mean? Like there's some things that are like don't add up. But at the same time, I got to look at it from bird's eye view. That's three cases, 4 Bamas right here that are like really public about it, right? So I'm like, something went down. I can separate the man from the music because that dude was that great. R. Kelly. I've said this on this podcast. I'm like, R. Kelly ain't that great comparatively. Sorry.
I mean, yeah,
I don't care.
I mean, I dig it, right? But to somebody, R. Kelly is that great, right? So the same thing applies in Gross and Nerdy.
That's wonderful. But in real life, Michael Jackson is more recognizable than a McDonald's sign.
I mean, Michael Jackson's more recognizable than a McDonald's sign. R. Kelly is just
R. Kelly looked like the dude that served me today at like
right now you sound like the biggest Michael Jackson fan, right? And I get that. But at the same time, there's somebody who feels the same way about R. Kelly. So both of them got some shaky shit with them. That's beside the point. That's beside the point, right? But we can't exonerate Michael the same way we can't exonerate R. R is just as good. Hey, look, we've seen R, right? With Mike,
we haven't seen Mike. That's a difference.
Yeah, because Mike, I guess, wasn't recording himself doing what he was doing, right? But here's the thing with Mike. Name me one grown man that likes spending that much time with little boys, man.
That's what I'm saying. Something went down. I'm not saying something didn't go down. I'm just saying.
So something went down.
I can separate. I'm just saying about separating the music from the man. Like R. Kelly.
And that's the thing about it. There are people who can separate the music from the man with R. Kelly.
And
so there's one and the same in that regard.
As me and you discussed in an earlier podcast, it was like, that's your choice. For me?
Exactly. That's people's choice. So it's going to be across the board with that. You feel that way about him, somebody will feel that way about R. Somebody will feel that way about Jerry Lee Lewis or whoever. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I got my own issue with Jerry Lee Lewis. I mean, that dude was just one of those regular white dudes that stole black music.
He married and impregnated his 13.
I'm not gonna die on a hill for some white dude that stole black, that Pat Boone, black music.
Somebody will fall on the hill for him. It's crazy.
Exactly.
People love what they love.
How long Mike been dead?
10 years, I think they said.
It's 10 years, man.
Almost.
Let it go. I mean, how many more people are gonna come out against him? I mean, basically, whether it was wrong or right, whether he did it or not, the man's reputation was ruined in life. I mean, he's dead now. Let him die. And then you come in, and then it'd be silly. It's like this is not even like a credible story. You know what the problem with all these things get to me is the weirdness of the parents. So, in essence, if you're going after the performer in that way, you should also be going after the parents for allowing, for allowing their children to be put in that situation. I think that's the same to me as locking your child in the car on a hot day and going in the store to shop. You know what I mean? When you put your
Chief, was it 4 months that they were with him?
It was a long time.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. They're there for, who lets their children? So if you put your children in a messed up situation and something bad happens to them, that's on you too. So I think, while you are going after the singer, you have to bring up charges too on the family. That's neglect. You can't. I mean, we're sitting here, all of us sitting here. How many of us would let our children sleep in the bed with another grown man? And I know the answer was no. I mean, JK got 3 girls. That's not going to happen. So
hell no.
When you talk,
I wouldn't let my 3 girls on the same street as R. Kelly.
But I'm just saying, not even R. Kelly. I'm just saying,
I know what you're saying.
When you put your kids in a position like that to fail, or somebody to take advantage of them, that's on you.
Exactly.
So if you go to somebody's house and you know that your cousin Rufus is 17 years old and he, the only bed left is, and then you say, hey, my 9-year-old is going to sleep with cousin Rufus. No, she's going to be right here. Y'all ain't going off together. None of that. That's not even the same age group. It's not going to happen. You know what I mean? So all that, to me, is neglect by the parents. And all that, to me, they should be prosecuted. A lot of these times, parents would stop putting themselves in position, and a lot of these cases would go away where the singers couldn't be sued if they started going after the parents too. Like, okay, listen, we're going to go after the singers for molesting your child. Also, we're going to bring you up on child charges for allowing this to happen. There's no way you should have allowed this to happen. And this shit would stop.
Guess what's going to happen?
This shit would stop.
Guess what's going to happen? Right. They're going to be like, well, we can't. Well, oh well, we ain't going to get no pay. We don't get no payday now. Right. You're right.
Absolutely. So,
all I know is JK's daughters was held up and R. Kelly trapped them up. Like, I think at least 5 of us on this podcast would go with our friends named Smith and Wesson and then just kind of make sure shit would go right. Because that's the stuff I just don't understand. At that point, I don't understand it any. Michael Jackson stuff, I'm like, you letting them sleep over there. Like, I'm like, that's weird. But the whole, like, you trapped my kids.
My kids, I haven't talked to in a year.
Y'all know I just got a 10-month-old right now. He'll be 11 months next week. I mean, I looked at him in the hospital like, yeah, I'm about to kill for you. That's it.
Yeah.
You got
yeah.
Michael Jackson would have to reach whoever. I mean, he's dead, but whoever would have to reach really far for that to happen. And if that happened, I'm going to jail. I'm just going to jail. There ain't there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. So, like I said, like, I don't know, man. There might have been some payoffs. I don't know what happened with the Mike side, man, because that's just, there's so much weirdness over there where, something might have happened, and he might have thought it was okay. Like, you don't know. Like, first of all, he's not here to defend himself.
You know what I thought, Gunner? You know what I thought of, Gunner, with both of these situations, right? There are a lot of enablers.
Yes.
When you're rich and famous, I guess, like, I'm speaking from experience, but I can imagine you make a lot of money for a lot of people, right? So your happiness and keeping you happy is paramount because they want to continue to make money off of you. So a lot of your indiscretions get swept under the rug, ignored, and a lot of your private deviant behaviors get indulged because that's what keeps you happy and that's what keeps you moonwalking or making hit records. I believe I can fly, whatever, right? When the money stops and the people start turning their back on you, that's when these problems occur. Because for what it's worth, when R. Kelly was leading a church choir and making some songs for a terrible Bugs Bunny Michael Jordan movie, he was still banging little girls. This is reality. Hey, when Michael Jackson showed up to the Grammys holding Emmanuel Lewis in his arms, we kind of just said, oh, okay, he's just a central.
Gunner, I know you've always been very outspoken about your love of Halle Berry's portrayal of Storm in the X-Men films. However, I'm going to go against the grain here, and I feel like based on the way Storm looked in the comic book, she probably could have been portrayed by an actress with a darker skin tone. That's just a random hot take I had. So, I know you and Chief watched Captain Marvel. One of the few issues I had with the film, and even though I like the actress, I didn't like that they had young Monica portrayed by a lighter skinned black girl. And you'll go on some boards and it's like, what are you complaining about? At least she's a black girl. But I feel like they kind of missed the whole point. Typically, traditionally, she's not light skinned.
Is supposed to be darker.
Yeah, I mean,
and her mother's darker.
Yeah,
I mean,
she's like
we
noticeable.
know how.
Right.
I mean, we know how we know how genes go with the Germans and the rape and the slaves and all that stuff. So in real life, yes, like, I mean, you can look at my wife. Like, everybody in her family's white, black, but you know what I mean. Here she go. You know what I mean? Like, this is just what happens, right? But given the gene pool, but yeah, I mean, we're talking about source material and just doing that. Like, of all the things that they changed, the only thing I was messed up about that was that I noticed it and I just
spoil
like,
anything,
look
but
away.
It was
that and Samuel Jackson's lineup.
Okay.
Dude, I saw that in IMAX. I'm sitting here like, young, why is this lineup uneven? This is still the 90s. We still had good barbers.
He could have gone to a bad shop. And maybe Shield didn't have anybody looking out. Right.
I mean, he's the only brother in Shield, really.
Clearly. And nobody at Shield was like, hey, man, remember, he said he didn't have a wife, so she wasn't going to tell him, hey, you need to go to a different barber. These are facts, Gunner. So,
he had RG3's wife. Oh.
Ouch. Hey, now. So I thought about the whole Monica thing, and I was like, oh, should I write this? Because I don't know if it bothered me, but I was just like looking at the various portrayals of Storm on the big screen, and she's always portrayed by lighter skinned black women, which to me is more of a problem because she's from Africa. And not that they don't have light skinned black women in Africa, but it's like when Storm was introduced, she was black. There was no, oh, okay, is she tan? No, she's black. And
I'm like, I don't expect to meet a light skinned black woman named Aurora.
Yeah, I mean, it was like, hey guys, I mean, okay.
And again, her name is Aurora Monroe, so yeah, right there. So it
her parents have always been portrayed as darker skin,
like
black,
straight up darker. Yeah.
Yeah, and I always thought, like the white hair and blue eyes was a different thing. So it's like, don't make her light skinned too, because that's just making her like, well, this is what Storm's pretty, and that would help her be prettier to people. And it's like, no, you're missing the whole point of Storm. But I thought, all right, well, Marvel Studios just introduced Black Panther. And Black Panther does not have a lot of light skinned black women in forefront. So I was like, okay. Now,
so they really could have done it correctly.
Right. It was like, I would have complained if it wasn't for Nakia, Okoye, and Shuri holding it down for the darkest skinned black women. But at the same time, I was like, okay, we're going to do this later. All right. Anyway.
Now, I will say this. At age 9, she's supposed to be 9, right? I think I caught that. I'm not sure.
Somewhere around there, yeah. Now something that is just totally not up for interpretation because it's not based off of a comic book character, but a real person. Will Smith is apparently in discussion to play Venus and Serena Williams' father. If you've seen what he looks like, he does not look like Will Smith. And it's one of those deals where it's like, hey, you guys could absolutely find someone else to play him besides Will Smith. And not that Will couldn't do a good job with it, but like, yeah, just like let's try to match up with the genuine article versus, the deal. It was the same problem I had with Chadwick Boseman in Marshall. He didn't look anything like Thurgood Marshall. It was like, why can't you find anybody that looks more like him? Terrence Howard looks more like him.
Like Terrence Howard, just throw a grizzly beard on him. Like,
that was.
We barely didn't even do that. Yeah, I'm like, I don't know.
So Gunnar and I have talked about this. So what do y'all think about this lightwash casting? Is that an issue? Does it matter, or should we care?
My take on it is an issue. If you've seen what Venus's father looked like, he's a darker hue. I mean, it's like, we know. I mean, like, there's people in Hollywood that look like this dude. Like, I mean, who's it? The cat? I just saw him. Mr. Echo. Mr. Echo could play Venus's father. Like,
yeah.
It's like, I mean, and I don't know why you need Will Smith attached to this project to make it vibe. I don't know. Is this the Venus and Serena documentary, or is it the story of him?
Maybe it's his story.
That doesn't make no damn sense. Why do I care?
I mean, no. Okay, so I'm saying like, if this is
You know what I mean? Like, no, seriously, why do I care about him? Like,
I mean, look, yeah, his story is, yeah, I mean, not to minimize his contribution, but it's like you raised him two very successful kids. There's a lot of story like that. Like,
but that's your story. So why aren't you? Where's the star power of who's playing Venus and who's playing Serena? Right? You know what I mean? That means they got to have a bigger stars because, you know what I mean? Like, I'm thinking of a movie like what had like Eddie Murphy in it. It was like huge, right? And then you had like, who you had, like Beyonce and the singers in there and Dreamgirls, right? Like you had other stars, big stars in there, so that took over the whole like Eddie Murphy star power, and that's died down a little bit. So Will Smith, I'm like, so who are you gonna have somebody bigger because that's so small? That should be a smaller role considering what we're talking about. Jason, I think I'm concurring with you, but I don't want to sound like I'm not. I think I'm concurring with you. I want to because I'm like. That seems weird.
I mean, like,
not his story.
I guess, yeah, it's like, if it's his story, I guess you need star power. But, I mean, just being blunt, it's like, Will Smith isn't star power. It's like, his star is kind of faded a little bit. So you could go with, I mean, you need somebody older and established. It's like, I mean, like, hell, why not talk to the dude from, I mean, I know he's just, This Is Us, but it's like, why not talk to him? It's like he at least has a complexion. I mean, if you needed to be a younger version of him, just so he can tell the story of him while he's teaching Venus and Serena, it's like, why not talk to him? Like, Will Smith is going to be like, he's the old version of the dude now. It's not like he's I mean, Will's now in his, Will's in his like 50s. It's like, I don't think he was teaching Venus and Serena how to play. I mean, I don't know the dude's real age, but I'm thinking this dude should be a little more young. I mean, we want him to grow in the story and then put makeup on him to make him look older. I'm just.
I mean, Sterling K. Brown would definitely work.
There you go.
That's
another one.
Yeah.
That's a fit.
He actually has a star power. It's like, you don't, if you, everything is like, if Will said he wants to be an executive producer and wants to really see this movie made, okay, that's fine. But to go with somebody who doesn't look like the dude, and then to say you need star power of a real live person, it's like, yeah, that is fishy to me. It's like, and I'm sure there are kids, and going back to what I originally said, it's like, there are people in our community who do not see people. I mean, it's like they don't see enough dark-skinned people. It's like everybody they see is light-skinned, Halle Berry. That's what they see, and everybody tells them, "Oh my gosh, you're so beautiful." It's like, but again, Black Panther was like one of the first movies. It's like, hey, they're leading like dark-skinned people, and they're being told they're beautiful. It's like, why?
I'm like, this don't look like Silver Spring. I'm like, oh, there we go. All right, cool.
Yeah.
Right, you know what I mean? Like, I just went to Hyattsville real quick. Yeah, there you go. Like, come on. Like, this is normal for us, but yeah, I get you. What about Lou Gossett Jr.? I'm looking at Serena and Venus.
No,
I'm like,
one of those boys, Mike Coletti, I think is Michael Williams from The Wire.
Yeah, but he's dead.
Yeah.
No.
Little
not
Melvin?
him.
Is he?
Not Little Melvin? Little Melvin Williams, the old gangster?
No.
Didn't he pass away? He passed away, didn't he?
Nah. What's my man? Omar from The Wire.
I think that's his name.
Yeah, that's what he's talking about.
Yes, Michael Kenneth Williams.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. I thought you meant Little Melvin
Frankie
Williams.
Faison is who you're talking about?
No. I thought you were talking about Little Melvin, like the gangster dude that was in the movie. Yeah.
Of course you were thinking about Little Melvin.
Obviously. Because I don't know about Omar. He's almost his face is just different.
He looks like a dad.
Nothing like. No.
He looks more like him than Will Smith does.
Yeah.
He looks more like him than Will Smith does, but he still doesn't really look like him. He's got a round face. Their dad's got like a longer face. But I'm looking at an old picture. It could work. But what time frame is this movie? Like, it's
Who
so much unknown.
knows? I mean, it could just
All I know
advance
is
through
Will Smith
time.
is not right. It's not right.
All right.
For what
Will
it's
Smith
worth,
is not
yeah.
right.
Okay, let's move on because we're all in agreement. Will Smith is not right. So
Only
going
K-Round.
around social media, I think this was just yesterday. There was a debate that Jamel Hill started about comic book trilogies, and the big ones that were up for debate here was Captain America or Batman, the Christopher Nolan trilogy. So I decided, why not open this up to all the films that qualify for best comic book trilogy, and let's see if it does just come down to those two. So in the running, because there's not a lot of them that have had trilogies, Superman, and for the sake of this, we'll go with trilogies that have the same actor. So the other Batman films don't count. Superman may have 4, but Christopher Reeve was in all of them, and we should never count Superman 4.
Or 3. Jesus.
I mean, it was evil Superman. I have a soft spot for that one, man.
There's a classic moment, but if you take that movie as a movie, you're like,
he's fighting a robot Rod.
He was
That
fighting
movie,
robots. He was fighting
that movie
evil
may be
Superman.
bad.
the Lord for Superman. Oh,
See, but
God,
that movie
I'm
may be
crying.
bad, but I will watch that one anytime over a lot of modern ones because it's sentimental and it's just I don't know.
We're not watching.
If it's
fun.
on cable and there's no commercials, I'm thinking you're not.
We'll watch
you
it.
turn it on.
Yeah, I'll watch it.
Yeah.
I'll watch it before that damn Brandon Rothman. Jesus Christ.
That definitely doesn't count. All right, so then we've got Superman, we've got Spider-Man, the Sam Raimi versions.
Never mind.
Ooh.
Okay, we've got the X-Men.
Now, why is that on your list?
He's going with trilogies.
I'm
He's
just going
naming
with
them
comic
off.
book trilogies. I'm just throwing this out. I'm not saying. I'm just asking. Should we just leave it to Cap versus Batman? So I'm just.
You just basically yelled in my bathroom and said, "What are you? You taking a shit?" Yes.
Okay. How about Blade? The Blade trilogy.
There you go. That's better. That's better.
Okay.
All right.
That's watchable.
See. I'm trying
Watch them
to
all
think if I have missed any other ones at this point. But I think
Iron Man.
Oh, I'm sorry. Iron Man.
That's what I was like. There's Iron Man and the Thor one.
There's Thor.
He's now
yeah.
on 3. Well, no, I'm sorry.
He
You're right.
is.
He's on
I have 3.
Okay, so I think that's it. All right, so does any of those need to even enter the conversation?
Negative. You missed the Hulks. The early Hulks on the TV, Jones. Please tell me those got to count. Luke Ferrigno, Bill Bixby.
I mean, if you would like to count them,
Return of the Incredible Hulk with
that
the
Thor
big
and Daredevil
Bama,
movies? No.
the Daredevil joint, the Trial of the Incredible Hulk, and the Death of the Incredible Hulk, which I guess was Natasha.
I remember being disappointed with those movies when I was young. So,
but you put X-Men on there.
They were in theaters. All right, so
now are we doing the second X-Men trilogy?
Right, because this is coming up. Well, it's not out yet, so I don't know if that counts.
No, it's already out.
They're completed. They've got
3.
First Class, Days of Future Past, and X-Men Apocalypse.
Oh,
So,
that's right. This is the
by
fourth
virtue
one.
of that, no, Javon, they don't even get an invite.
Oh, damn. Okay.
Wow, just because of Apocalypse.
Have you seen Apocalypse?
Yes, I've seen Apocalypse.
That's
I've
terrible,
also seen
terrible movie.
X3, which is
What
Hey
about
man,
Wolverine?
why is this
I
on
was
the
just
list?
throwing them out there. Oh,
What about Wolverine?
Wolverine, that counts.
Yeah, I was going to mention that.
Can we just not do any X-Men live-action movies?
There we go. All right, so the X-Men don't make the cut.
We know
Okay.
they are dead last.
Yeah. We also have Avengers.
Okay.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
Okay,
That's 3.
that's 3. Yeah.
Oh, Avengers wins. Then X-Men's on the bottom.
Uh.
Avengers is on the top. Now we should just do 2, 3, and 4. Who's 2, 3, and 4?
That's interesting that she said that. All right, Chief, what's your take on this? Does anything make the cut beyond Cap, Batman?
Well, I probably have to agree. I mean, Avengers probably will make the cut along with them. I think Iron Man was the first one was good. The second one was the third one was garbage. And the Thor movies, the first one was okay. The second one was and the third one was good.
All right.
Like all the Captain America movies was good. All the Batmans were good. Now you said these are heroes. I want the superheroes. Is Neo a superhero?
Nah.
I wouldn't count him in this one because it's more of a sci-fi.
Yeah, we're doing comic books. Like, yeah.
When they start tapping into computers and using them in a long way, I don't consider him a superhero movie at that point. Unless your name is Felicity Smoke.
I was just asking. I mean, he flew. He did all these stop bullets. I was just curious.
Yeah, no, that's a fair point.
Fair point.
Will we count Glass, Unbreakable, and
You could count that.
Oh, wow.
But are they superheroes? I mean, I don't.
They're
I think
based on superheroes, superpowers, so you could throw that in if you like.
Well,
I guess an honorable
yeah,
mention situation. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
those are my three. I guess those are my three. If I had three, I would give those for three.
So which ones?
I would go with the Cap, the Batman, and the Avengers. If Guardian of the Galaxy had a volume 3 out, I probably would have added them because I enjoyed both their movies.
Yeah.
So I can't wait for the third installment of them. But yeah. So well, but yeah, the rest of the movies had like it was like one good movie, one bad movie. Like Caps were all good, the Batmans were all good, the Avengers of course were all good. And I can't think of another franchise just off the top of my head. I mean, X-Men will never get it. I don't care. If you got a gun to my head, the same vote. You just go ahead and squeeze.
Right. I'm like, I'm gonna die on my feet at this point.
This is what my life's come down to.
Right. I wouldn't be able to look myself in the mirror if I was like, I'm sorry, I had to say that shit.
Son, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it, son.
I could be able to do it.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, yeah, I probably go with those three. Because I'm like, out of our movies, I mean, they messed up the DC universe because really by this time there should have been a Man of Steel 3 out.
Yeah.
Because I didn't hate the first one. I liked the first one. As a matter of fact, Man of Steel, the first one was good.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was good. A lot of people, but I thought it was good. I thought that they needed to. We dropped the Batman vs Superman and we dropped the Justice League, but I think that Batman vs Superman, for real, should have been Man of Steel 2. And then perhaps something in that leads to a Batman Superman and then a Justice League. They could have really actually had 2-3 more movies in before they did a Justice League.
Chief, you got no future in this business.
Plus working the other characters. It was just they just messed the whole thing up, man. They shat on it, the whole franchise, man. Just shat it up. You know what I mean? I'm so disappointed, man. You have no idea the disappointment, man, that I feel whenever I look at my Man of Steel Blu-ray, man. I'm just like, this could have been so much more.
Could have been the whole thing.
It could have been a trilogy of this joint. That, like, yo. They had the perfect Superman. They found the perfect fucking person to be Superman, and then they ruined it. Man, guys, you know what we're gonna do? Let's take a shot. All of us? Yeah, all of us.
Yeah, that's a great analogy. It's a great analogy because they were like, instead of just letting nature take its course, you eat, you take a poop. You know what I mean? They were like, no, I'm gonna drink 4 cups of coffee. No, excuse me. Let me be accurate. I'm gonna drink 3 cups of coffee and just. There you go.
So that's why we don't have a Man of Steel trilogy, which would have been excellent.
And kills a connected universe of DC too. So yeah.
Yep.
I want to look. Yeah. I want to go to Earth 3 where they actually did the Man of Steel. Hey, you know what's funny, man? Is that
they really could have done that.
Right. Is there? I'm under the impression when I read comics that Central City, Metropolis, all these are on the same Earth, and so they're not.
No. I mean, they are. They just, because of the silly setup,
on the
they
TV shows, why on TV shows are they on different Earths?
Because she was originally on CBS Earth.
Just who cares?
Hey,
I think they're gonna fix it in Crisis. I think they're gonna fix it in Crisis.
Yeah.
I think they're gonna fix it in Crisis. This is what Crisis is supposed to do for comics, so of course they're gonna be like, you know what we're gonna do? They probably planned this out as soon as they moved it to CW. They're like, you're gonna have to do a Crisis at some point.
We're gonna put Black Lightning and have him team up with Green Arrow.
Token World. Yeah.
Right. Yes. Yeah, I know. Like Black Lightning's on a Token World. That's what it feels like. I'm like, what? Why are you? What?
At least he's not on Legends World, Gunner.
Look, but Legends is supposed to be in there, in the same universe. So
yeah,
like,
they're
whatever.
supposed to be getting canceled soon too.
Oh, they decided to cancel it.
They may be sizing up next.
Good news day.
My buddy told me when they revealed that Arrow, because he tipped me off that Arrow may be getting the announcement soon that Legends is on that list too. So yeah. Yes.
But Arrow when fell. I told you Arrow fell off this season because I'm like, if y'all flash forward, I don't know where you're going anymore. When they did the flashback was a great effect, but they're trying to use that effect for some BS. And I'm like, I just don't care. Do you know when the last time I saw that? I saw that joint before the break, and I just haven't gotten back to it, man.
You missed so much. You missed so much.
Don't lie to that boy.
Don't care.
All right. Jace. Jace, did you go through your 3?
No.
All right, what's yours?
All right. Cap Trilogy is... I'm thinking I got to go with that. Yeah, I think I'm going to go with that. Cap Trilogy is number 1 because Winter Soldier and Civil War were phenomenal movies. And they actually kind of went on a nice trajectory of like topping the last one. Batman was, I think as I already said, like Batman, the Return of the Dark Knight got messed up because of the shooting, and that still kind of sits in my head, unfortunately. But I especially like when they actually redubbed Bane in there. But that's what I think. That's what takes that one down. Avengers is number 3, but I always kind of I'm not really sure. I would have liked probably a longer cut of Age of Ultron, and also not having Hank Pym kind of in that kind of always knocks that a little bit to me. But I think those are my 1, 2, and 3. Iron Man is kind of 3. Iron Man 3 is garbage. Just like there's no way around that. And the Wolverine trilogy, if it was 2, I'd have been fine. But Logan, I don't care what anybody says. That movie is garbage. And I'm sorry for yelling in your ear, people, and for effect, but I hated that movie. Hated that movie. I was really disappointed. I think we drove out in snow to watch that crap, and I still it's like I had this chair that was vibrating with every freaking action scene. I literally wanted to throw the chair at the screen for Mason Weeks. 2 hours watching that movie. So
I think it was a lot longer than 2 hours. Javon, did we go on your list?
No.
All right, what you got?
I gotta go with Batman. I gotta go with Nolan's Batman.
All right, why?
Very simple. The middle film in that trilogy is the best comic book movie of all time. Aside from, look, if Heath Ledger not died, this wasn't the posthumous Oscar because of. No, he won that because of the merit of what he did. That was a comic book movie, folks. So the debate on whether or not these movies should be taken seriously in Oscar contention didn't start with Black Panther or the Avengers. It started there. That was an epic movie. That's why The Dark Knight is why you go to the movies, in my opinion. That movie was why you go to the movies. I've liked a lot of the trilogies. The trilogy of comic book movies that we have. I like the first Iron Man, but the two. When I saw Mickey Rourke with a parrot on his shoulder with the electric whips, I was like, yeah, I'm done. You lost me. You lost me out the gate. The fight in Monaco, nah, it was good. You whipped the Rolls Royce.
That preview fooled the hell of us. That preview
yeah, it did.
It did. That preview was a joint because when you saw Mickey Rourke whip them whiplash joints, I'm like, oh man, that's probably like
as whiplash. I was like, okay, all right.
That's the last scene of the movie, man. They gonna have a whole joint. Nah, that was like the first scene of that Batman.
That was the first scene. Sense. Yeah.
I was like, uh-oh.
Yeah. And 3 was, we don't have no idea what to do with this, folks. We got no idea where we're going. This is what we got. Iron Man.
More suits. We're going to have this kid scene. We're going to have this kid in this garage for like at least 30 minutes of this movie. 45. Because he had an actual like action role. I'm like, I don't care about this kid. No one cares about this kid. This kid ain't even in the comics. Like,
why don't they bring the kid? See, it would be funny if like they brought the kid back for Infinity War, and he's the one who solves it all.
Something.
Oh,
right?
Captain Marvel has to save
it'd have been
it.
better. It'd have been better if it was like the black chick in the comic books.
Nah, she wasn't even around then.
She wasn't even around yet, but still, it would have been
I know.
God, I love Cap. Cap 1 was dope. I like all the Caps, but the first one is the best one to me in that.
Okay.
I can. Winter Soldier was really good, but at the end, it just didn't grab me as much as the Batman. Thor, I didn't like the first Thor was just okay. They just made a Thor movie to me. The second one was meh. The third one was they got me again. Ragnarok was funny. Ragnarok is probably Ragnarok and Guardians is what gave Marvel the comedic edge to me because they're funny movies. Outside of the action, they're just funny movies. You'll laugh when you watch them. And God, of course, the first Superman trilogy holds near and dear to everybody's heart. You know, those of us who grew up in that era, because God, it's just the nostalgia factor alone. But by the time we got to 3, man, we didn't need Richard Pryor. We didn't need Richard Pryor. We didn't need it. We didn't need it. We didn't need bad Superman. It ruins it. And that's my problem with some of these trilogies, man. They don't hold up. And you can say what you want about the last one, Dark Knight Rises. I really liked it, even though it was kind of stupid in some regard. It was still, nothing really took you out of the movie.
Okay, so I'm going to explain. I'm not going to go into all of them, but I'm going to tell you why I put Captain America as my number one of these. So, Batman Begins has Katie Holmes in a pivotal role. And I did not like how in Dark Knight Rises, beyond the unoriginal title, that Batman hadn't done anything since Dark Knight. That to me, you said didn't take you out of the movie, but for me, I'm like, what the heck was he doing all that time? He's Batman. He's not going to sit back, well, they don't like me anymore, I'm not going to do anything. He's going to keep going out there. I mean, that was the whole premise of the ending of Dark Knight. I'm going to be the bad guy. I'm going to be the face so Harvey can keep his good name, and I'll just keep doing my stuff. That didn't mean I'm going to go retire. He's like an old, decrepit Batman by the time Bane shows up. And it's like, dude. And then he goes and retires. Happy.
They were trying to do the whole Dark Knight Returns thing, man. That's all that was.
And
but they didn't need to do all that in one.
There's stupid things in the movie, like, okay, nobody's ever dug themselves out of Bane hole, but, you get your back broken, and then you get your back straightened up by this old guy in the Bane hole, and you're the only one, white man, who can crawl out the Bane hole and make it clean across the world to get back to Gotham. I mean,
But think about this. You didn't care because that movie was so good.
You know
why? Because of Hans fucking Zimmer and Zimmer and Christopher Nolan.
It's my number 2. I actually had this above the Avengers. I don't have the Avengers as high as the rest of y'all because I think they really, like Josh Whedon had to do a whole lot in Age of Ultron. And it's like, let me set up Black Panther. Let me set up the Infinity Stones. And I really hate that he killed Quicksilver because it's like, dude, what are you doing? And then forcing the whole Black Widow Hulk relationship. It's like, just go away. And as soon as the Russo brothers took over, it got so much better. So the benefit of why Captain America is ahead of the Avengers, because the Russo brothers directed 2 of them, and they're awesome, and they tell one complete story. So if you're watching it from beginning, the first one, it's about Bucky and Cap, and hey, this is my boy, I'm with you to the end, and their friendship, and Cap wanting to be a hero and wanting to stand up for the little guy because that's what his best friend did for him. He was always inspired and encouraged by Bucky. So when the roles are reversed, he's doing that for everybody. He's leading the war effort, and he's beating Nazis, and he finds the Tesseract and all that good stuff. He beats down the ultimate Nazi in the Red Skull. Then in the second film, he finds that Bucky's not dead, and it's this huge deal. And it's like a mini Avengers movie because you get these team-ups with Black Widow first, and that really fleshes her character out way more than we'd seen in any other film, Iron Man 2 or the first Avengers. And it gave her this depth that was like, oh, Black Widow's kind of cool, beyond just Scarlett Johansson playing the character without a Russian accent. And in Civil War, it's like it's fully come together now. Bucky's lost control, and he is the catalyst for the Avengers splitting. And Cap is like, I don't care. It's my dog. I've got his back like he's always had mine back when we were little. And I don't care if this fractures the Avengers. And it still feels like a Cap movie, even though the Avengers just so happen to be in it for 3/4 of the film. It still is a Cap movie. And they don't kill Cap off, which was so much better than the comic book. And it sets the way for this fraction, this split. So when you're watching Infinity War and Tony picks up the phone that Cap gave him at the end, it's like, oh shoot, he's about to call him. We're about to get them together. Infinity War doesn't have that same depth and meaning without the whole interaction from Civil War. And there's no bad acting in any of the Cap films. It's like, man, you guys have Tommy Lee Jones. You've got, I mean, he's just sitting up there chilling. You've got Robert Redford. I mean, they've got like a wealth of Academy Award winners. Yeah, you don't know about that. No, he is. He's in. He is. Yeah.
He's in the second one.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
But
just,
you know what though?
they make a big game changer with what you expect as a comic book fan. Like, wait, what do you mean Shield's corroded and corrupted and evil?
Oh, that was wonderful.
Because I mean, like, no one saw that coming. That was like a huge twist, and it actually meant something. Go ahead.
You hinted on something that people didn't really. Acting fans and definitely the older cats that were watching this too, older than us, were watching this too. They caught it. If you're a fan of movies and acting in general, the way Robert Redford and Samuel Jackson played off each other,
jeez,
that deserved an Oscar right there. If comic book movies weren't excluded, that right there would have been one of the greatest scenes. Period.
Yeah, that was one of those movies that was so screwed. It's like, how, if this wasn't Captain America, if this was John Ryan or Jack Ryan, this would have been an Academy Award movie.
Exactly.
So that's always one. It's like, just.
You are absolutely right.
All right, fellas, let's just hold on to it. Let's hear your dummies of the week. That's fine. Chief, you got one?
Dummy of the week. It's so early this week. It is, well, I'm going to have to go with R.
Exactly. He's the winner.
And how do you get locked right back up?
Exactly.
You on bond.
Listen,
you out on
I
bail.
think they didn't even hit him with the second charge till he got out. They was like, you know what? We're going to get you 1 day of freedom out here, and then we're going to come get you again. And I think that was foul. So they was like, all right, we know we're going to lock him up again. Let him make bail.
Let him go
get an interview with Gail.
Let him go get a Big Mac and embarrass himself. We're going to bring his stupid ass right back in here.
Let him put his feet up. And as soon as we see his feet go up on the couch, come with us.
Knock.
I mean, gosh, damn, man. Like I said earlier, man, you make a speech about wanting to do for your kids and wanting to be there for your kids, but you owe $160,000. in child support. Like, man. And man, I don't know. You know, Cal's was what? At one point, it was worth what, 50, 60 million?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Lawsuits and things and lawyer fees. I mean, right down to, I mean, you can't make $160,000 payment. You know what I mean? I don't get it. I mean, hell, like, what are you doing? I don't know. So this is his life now, man. It's a shame that it's come to this, man. It's a shame that his choices have led him to this path. But I guess it is what it is, man. I guess, you know, the karma is a bastard. Karma is a bastard. It always comes around, boy, if you wait long enough, you know. So that's my dummy, man. I feel like anybody who gets out of jail to get locked up again the next day doesn't make sense to me. And this, you know, but hell, once you walk out your door in the morning, it would make sense.
Indeed. Jace, how about you?
Yeah, I gotta agree with Chief on that one. It's like, and I always say, it's like, I don't like putting people in jail for child support, because it really is just like debtor prison if they don't have the means to do this. But I could have set up a trust and put up some money for those kids long ago. He didn't do that. That's why he's dumb, because it's like, man, you could have set up your kids, and you could have, you know, not been the way. I mean, like, I didn't really jump in on like the Michael Jackson, but like him, it's like there's video evidence of this dude doing wrong. So yeah, it's like it's a lot harder for me not to say that was you. It's like what your choices are. You should have said counseling years ago, and now karma has found you. And I don't think I don't think that lady who put up that $100,000 is gonna be able to put up another $100,000 for you. So you're gonna sit in there for a while. So
he didn't get this money quick enough.
Yeah, so he's the dummy. Sorry, bro.
Jay King, R. Kelly wins it for me. You got one?
Yeah, it's not gonna be R. Kelly. We can beat that dead horse until our arms get tired. I'm gonna go with the Philadelphia Phillies for blowing their wad on Bryce Harper.
Mm-hmm.
When a guy can go through the full off season into spring training and not get the offer that he's looking for from his $300 million hunt and find and seek, and you are the ones week one into Major League Baseball spring training, opt to give it to him, that's just stupid. Career 249, 29 homers on average, 29 to 30 home runs on average. Yeah, I just can't see giving that kind of guy that kind of money. And here's the thing about it. Philly, in D.C., I'll say this. You can get away with batting for 249, hitting 25 to 30 home runs, maybe, and, you know, being a bit of a lightning rod and expecting to be the highest paid player in the history of Major League Baseball and still be regarded and loved in this town. You do that in Philly, they'll throw dog shit at your house. So I'm really hoping it works out for him. This is not as an angry Nats fan by any means. It's just, I hope this was worth it. This looks to me like another, what's his face, Miguel Cabrera situation, or even, I hate to go that far, but maybe a Juwan Howard situation where you're mortgaging your future on this guy. Yeah. So, Philly, I hope it's worth it.
Well, I guess that'll do it. Fellas, thank y'all as always. This episode of Lyle's Movie Files has been filed.